Hi, my darlings. I'm Sophie Darling, and welcome back to the channel. If you love anime, heartfelt reactions, and deep dives into symbolism and themes, then you are in the right place. Before we jump into today's reaction, don't forget to hit that like button to show some love, subscribe if you haven't already, and please do ring that notification bell so you never miss a moment of fun. And if you want even more exclusive content like early access to my reactions, full-length anime watch-alongs, and an amazing community of fellow anime lovers, please do check out my Patreon. You can find a link in the description box below. It truly means the world as your support helps to keep these reactions coming, and I'd love to have you join our cozy little anime family. Today, we are reacting to episode 17 of series 3 of Attack on Titan. It has been a week since I filmed, and I'm still just not mentally ready to kind of see what happens. I may still be in denial. I don't believe that Armin's dead. I don't. And I think until the show categorically says he's dead, I'm gonna be on that hill that he's not dead. Because he can't be. He can't be. I just don't believe it. I don't buy it. And the reason for that being is the Titan serum, which hasn't been used on anyone yet, so I think it has to be used on Armin. Again, gone through the past couple of episodes explaining why I think Armin is the only one that could benefit from the Titan serum. I don't think his character arc is over, and primarily that's because I think he is designed to be at odds with Eren at some point. I think their friendship is going to diverge and they're going to go their separate ways, and there's going to be a tension and conflict between them because they morally don't agree on what's happening in this future war that's coming. And because I see that tension between Armin and Eren being like a catalyst for season 4, I just don't believe that he's dead because we haven't really seen that. We've had little glimpses that their relationship may diverge through series 2 when Armin and Mikasa are talking about Eren always going separate ways to them. But again, in episode 12, it became very obvious to Armin that Eren's dreams of the future are no longer aligning with his own, which is to explore and see the outer world. We haven't really heard Eren talk about that desire to see the world, to see the sea beyond series 1. I'm beginning to think that he's not as interested in it anymore, that maybe his priorities are shifting. But Armin still has hope and wants to cling to that bond that they've created through their desire to be free of the walls and to see and explore the world. Just the way that Armin kind of had to bring it back around to Eren, like, oh, but you wanted to see it too. We have to go together. And then it got brought up again in episode 17. It kind of feels as if Armin already senses that Eren is changing. Eren is no longer becoming the person that he recognizes. And I think their relationship is going to diverge unless he's still burnt to a crisp. If he doesn't come back in this episode or the episode after, then he's dead. He's gone. But I don't think he's dead. I don't think he's dead. I just think there's too much that they can do with Armin to have killed him off now. But this is going to be a super short intro because I need to see what happens, because I've kind of been on tenterhooks the whole week waiting to be able to sit and film episode 18 to see where it picks up from that moment of seeing Armin completely burnt and presumably dead. And I say presumably because I don't believe they're dead. But without further ado, we're going to get into episode 18. If I cry in this next episode as well, I'm going to be furious. Because it's been like 4 episodes in a row I've cried now. Armin. I just don't think he's dead. Which sounds so stupid when he looks like that, but I just... They have to bring him back. Oh! The fucking quadruped. I hate it so much. Why is he looking at Eren like that? Is it because he recognizes that he's the coordinate, or does he recognize the familial lineage? He knows. That's Grisha's other son. They're brothers. They're brothers. They're brothers. Especially that flashback, the familial likeness is clear. They're brothers. This is Grisha's firstborn son. Fuck. Levi doesn't give a shit about your draw. To rescue you. That's gonna play in his mind. He's gonna want to leave the walls now because of that comment. He's still alive. He's still alive. I knew he wasn't dead. They're gonna use the serum on him. They have to.
君が手足を切り落とされる前、最後の力で取り出そうとしたものだぞ。自決用の薬、それとも爆弾か。手紙。
Letter? To who? Annie? For Historia. Where is Ymir though? We know she went with them, but we haven't seen her.
君は私たちが知りたいことを教えてくれるかな。いや。ありがとう。覚悟ができてて助かるよ。
Jean's not gonna let it happen, is he?
待ってください。いいんですか？その力奪えるかもしれないのに。
この薬を使えば、超大型巨人や鎧の巨人、獣の巨人らの力を奪うことができる。
Oh god, so now it really is a toss-up. If Armin's still alive, I thought it would be Bertold whose powers he takes, but maybe it could be Reiner's. But it'll be one of them two. Oh, we're gonna lose one of them. It's gonna be Armin.
注射器はこの一本限り。その使用権はリヴァイ兵士長に託して。
Oh no! So it's gonna be Levi that makes the decision, and I think Levi's gonna have to make the decision between Erwin and Armin. I think he's gonna be forced to make that choice as to who he saves.
なぜならこいつらの底力は我々には到底計り知れないからだ。首をはねてもまだ安心できないよ。
Jean can't bear to see it. War changes people.
わからないものはわからないと蓋をして、この先どうやったら俺たちは巨人に勝てるんですか？
Jean's right.
ミカサ、
Has Hanji lost an eye?
もうほとんど残ってません。ですが、エレンとアルミンの元への片道分はあります。
私よりはあるな。そしてガスを補給し、リヴァイから注射薬をもらってこい。何らかの理由でそれが叶わない場合には深淵弾を撃て。それを合図にライナーを断つ。
ハンジさん、俺は。
私の判断だ。君のは判断材料。
俺はなんだ。まさかこの後に及んで。頑張れ。もっと息吸え。
This is what we saw in the post-12, the post-credit scene of episode 12. Levi's not gonna do it, is he? Because he wants to save Erwin. Is that why they fight? He's not gonna do it. Oh, fuck me! So Reiner's definitely not dying, so that just leaves Bertold. Bertold's going, isn't he? Bertold's gonna die. Because he said, Bertold, your time is up. Like, oh, well, not your time is up, but this is the end of you. Connie, please, no! I can't
もうガスはわ
lose
ずかしか
anyone
ない
else.
返り討ちにされるだけだ
俺のせいです。俺が取り返しのつかないことを。
John, you saved
私の
Hanji.
判断だと言ったらエレンたちと合流しよ
Is he handing it over?
エルヴィン団長が重傷です。
He's gonna have to
腹が
choose.
えぐれて内臓まで損傷しているため血が止まりません。例の注射が役に立てばと思ったんですが、どうでしょうか。
Oh, God.
兵長、
How do you pick?
まだ息がある。この注射はエルヴィンに打つ。さっきアルミンに使うって。俺は人類を救える方を生かす。
This is how they end up fighting. I said it would be to do with Erwin's death. Mikasa doesn't want to let Armin go either.
お前は運が良かったね。
How do you choose? How do you choose? Levi was obviously always going to choose Erwin, but he's up against two people that will not back down. They will not let Armin die because that's their childhood best friend. That's who they've grown up with, and he's got them through so much. And I couldn't make the choice. I couldn't do it. I don't know who I would choose. I don't know if I could. I said back in the post-credit scene of episode 12 that when they were fighting on the roof that it was to do with Erwin's death. Let's see if I was right. That scene, I have theories. I have thoughts about that scene, as in Levi's anger to that extent. I think that's going to be in the aftermath of Erwin dying. Him losing his temper like that to that extent. Erwin has just died. But I was correct to an extent. But I'm 100% sure as well that when the serum got brought up again, that I mentioned that Levi's anger was going to be in relation to not being able to bring Erwin back. I don't know if I could ever pick. This is such a horrible situation to be thrown into. It's kind of like the trolley situation. Like, do you kill 4 people to save 1, or do you kill 1 person to save 4? It's how do you choose? How do you pick? Not only can Titan powers and much needed information be stolen by using the injection, but it also allows the revival of someone who is critically wounded. The ideal candidate would be someone near death that is already close to an incapacitated enemy with Titan powers, which means we're going to lose Bertold. We're either going to lose Bertold and Erwin, or we're going to lose Bertold and Armin. But Bertold's dying because no one's coming to rescue him.
お前ら自分で何をやって
Of what you're doing.
分かっているのか。エルヴィンを調査兵団団長を見殺しにしろと言ってるんだぞ。
But it's Armin, their best
時間
friend,
がない。邪
their
魔をする
brother. Like, what do you want them to do?
さっき注射をすぐに渡さなかったのは何なんですか。
Because he was hoping to
エルヴィ
find
ンが生き
Erwin.
ている。その可能性が頭にあったからだ。ここにエルヴィンが現れた以上、エルヴィンに使う。
The scene makes so much sense now.
力が弱ってる。力ずくで奪える。
お前らも分かってるはずだ。エルヴィンの力なしに人類は巨人に勝てないと。
そうだよミカさん。
What about Armin's
こんな
talent?
バカな真似。
What about everything Armin has done? Does he not deserve a chance to live?
アルミンがいなくたって無理だ。トロストクを岩で塞いで守ることができたのも、兄の正体を見抜いたのも、
He's done so
進
much.
行することを思いついたのもアルミンだ。潜んでいたライナーを暴き出したのも ベルトルトを倒すことができたのも全部アルミンの力だ。人類を救うのは俺でも団長でもないアルミンだ。そうだろミカさん。
渡してください。
人類を救うのはエルヴィン団長だ。
黙ってて。
黙ってられるか。お前らばっかりが辛いと思うなよな。誰も助からないと思った。でもエルヴィン団長だけは違った。あの状況で獣の喉笛に食らいつく算段を立て実行した。
And he led the
作
way.
戦通りバラバラに砕
He
け
didn't
た。
have to lead the charge, but he did.
まだ息のある団長を見つけた時はとどめを刺そうとした。でもそれじゃ生ぬるいと思った。この人にはまだ地獄が必要なんじゃないかって。巨人を滅ぼすことができるのは悪魔だ。悪魔を蘇らせる、それが俺の使命だったんだ。
He only wants to do it to punish
俺
Erwin.
と生き残っちまった俺の意味なんだよ。だから邪魔するなよ。よせ。
God.
ハンジ。
私たちにはエルヴィンがまだ必要なんだ。あの壁の中で希望の灯火を絶やしてはならないんだよ。
それはアルミンにだってできる。
私にも生き返らせたい人がいる。何百人も。
This is so hard to watch.
調査兵団に入った時から別れの日々だ。
ハンジだ。
Mobley.
でも分かっているだろ。誰にだっていつかは別れる日が来るって。
He saved her.
受け入れられないよ。正気を保つことさえままならない。それでも前に進まなきゃいけない。
How do you say goodbye? If Erwin could choose, I think he'd choose Armin over himself. I don't think Erwin would allow them to bring him back because I think he recognizes that Armin can make a difference.
海って知ってますか。この壁の向こうにある海をいつか見に行こうって。でもそんなガキの頃の夢は俺はとっくに忘れてて、母さんの敵とか巨人を殺すこととか何かを憎むことしか頭になくて。でもこいつは違うんです。アルミンは戦うだけじゃない、夢を見ている。
ここで確実にベルトルトをエルヴィンに食わせる。
アルミン、またな。
だからまずは海を見に行こうよ。見てろよ、絶対あるんだから。
お前の夢ってのが叶ったらその後はどうする。
わからない。叶えてみないことにはな。
みんな何かに酔っ払ってねえと。
Everyone has a reason to live.
みんな何かの奴隷だった。
それだけじゃないよ、海だ。
It's not even.
エルヴィン。
Owen doesn't
先生、
want to come back.
この外に人類がいないってどうやって調べたんですか。
夢を諦めて死んでくれ。新兵たちを地獄に導け。獣の巨人は俺が仕留める。
ありがとう。
Owen's at peace. He made his choice. But Armin still has dreams. I think he realizes that. But what about Bertold? Oh, Bertold.
みんな助けて兵長、どうしてですか？
こいつを許してやってくれないか。こいつは悪魔になるしかなかった。その上、一度は地獄から解放されたこいつを
He can be
再
himself
び地獄
again.
に呼び戻そうとした。
He's at
だ
peace.
がもう休ませてやらねえと。
Let him rest. He's done enough.
獣を仕留める約束だが、まだ先になりそうだ。
もう死んだよ。
そうか。
Oh my god, I can't keep doing this. I say that every single episode. Fuck. I need a minute. I need a minute. Jesus Christ. I was hoping to film 4 episodes today. I don't think that's going to happen. If the next episode is any more traumatizing than this, I don't think I'm going to be able to watch more than 2 because fuck, that's already destroyed me. I'm so glad that Armin's not dead, that Armin is back. I was getting very concerned, but it made more sense for Armin to come back in terms of the story than it does for Erwin to come back. But Bertold didn't deserve to die that way. I get why it has to be done, but just him being a casualty of war and just being a child and calling out for Annie and Rainer in his final moments, all he wanted was his friends. And even calling out to the others because he still sees them as comrades was heart-wrenching, heartbreaking. And I knew either him or Rainer was going to have to die because it made sense. It was the only way that Armin could come back, but just it doesn't make it any less heart-wrenching. I think you'd have to be made of stone to not like feel some level of sympathy and sorrow for Bertold. I think as well, Eren's mention of the sea and Levi remembering their overheard conversation. I don't think his decision has anything to do with Eren and Armin going to see the sea together, but I think it struck something in him that in comparison, Armin still has dreams, he still has ambition, he still has things that drive him to pursue life, whereas Erwin, once he reaches the basement, that's it. He doesn't have that same motivation, that same desire. That's not to say that he wouldn't find new purpose, but I think Erwin had already made his decision that he was never going to know the truth, and he's had to do horrible things to get where he is today. He's had to make really hard choices and to become the devil in order to help humanity survive. It's not something that he's wanted to do, it's a role he's had to become in order to motivate and lead the Survey Corps. And seeing him revert back to almost a child of him saying, "Teacher, how do we know there's not humans beyond the wall?" Which is the question he asked his dad, but we never heard in that flashback because obviously now we know. But reverting back to that moment of time that he spent with his dad, emphasize that he's at peace with the choice that he's made, that he is content and that he deserves to rest. He's dedicated so much of his life to this truth about the world, and it's time for him to let down his duty and to pass this over to Armin, who is the next person with the potential to lead humanity forward. And I think it's obvious that Armin's mention of the sea and how that might relate to where these other people are in the world, how he's so open and curious to life beyond the walls. That's exactly what the survey call strives for. That's its motivation, that's its goal. And bringing Armin back allows him to continue to pursue what is the main tenets of the survey core in general, but also that he offers new insights, new perspectives that Erwin might not necessarily think of. Everything that they have done, as was said by Eren, has all been Armin. Armin was why they were successful at Trust. Armin was successful in identifying Annie, which prevented further casualties. Armin was able to suss where Reiner might be hiding, which prevented them from being able to further ambush and sneak upon them. Armin gave his life to beat Bertold and to give Eren a chance to win against the Colossal. Armin deserves to live, and it's such a hard decision, though. I think if I was in that situation, I don't know if I could be forced to make that choice. And it's kind of funny in a way that Levi says to Eren, leave your emotions out of it, when it's his own emotions driving him to save Erwin. I know he sees it as, well, this is the leader of the Survey Corps. This is somebody that has given everything to protect the Survey Corps. While he may have good logical points, it's still his emotions leading him, driving him, because he can't possibly think of saving Armin if there's the potentiality for Erwin to be alive. Because in his mind, yes, Erwin has done so much for humanity, but he also has a great sense of loyalty and love for the man. And you could tell just by the look in his eyes when Hanji says he's dead, when he's trying to speak with him for the final time. And Erwin can't hear it because he's gone. He's no longer there anymore. I think Levi's decision, though, was influenced by allowing Erwin to rest and to no longer be forced to continue living in this world and possibly suffering even more pain and emptiness, especially after learning the truth and knowing what's in the basement. So I think he made the right decision in choosing Armin. Armin has great potentiality. He's growing into himself. He's still young. He still has dreams and ambitions. As Kenny said, we all need something in life to get by. And it's Armin's dreams of seeing the world beyond the walls that drives him, that motivates him, that pushes him forward. Everyone's drunk on something, and Armin's drunk on the dream of life beyond the walls. And that's what humanity needs right now. In order to know who the enemy is, where the enemy is, and what to do, you need Armin. Because Armin is driven, he is focused. The Beast Titan is Eren's brother. He said, we've both been betrayed by your father. They did that overlay between Zeke and Grisha. And when they did that overlay, the familial similarities is strong between them. Whereas Eren tends to favor Carla. He tends to look more like his mother, bar his father's eyes. And I think that's why Zeke was shocked, because he's like, you don't look like your father, because he was probably expecting him to look more like Grisha, but he doesn't. He looks more like Carla, but they're brothers. They're brothers. Grisha originally comes from wherever Reiner and Zeke are from. I think the words one of these days, I'll come and rescue you. Again, you wouldn't do that for just a random person unless you feel a connection to them somehow, and I think that connection is familial. I think Zeke possibly has been raised in a similar way to Eren in believing that he's special, that he can do something to change the world, and then probably found that he's been misled. Maybe he feels a deep sense of betrayal, and maybe he sees the way that Eren has also been told that he is special by Grisha, that he needs to avenge his mother, and that pushing of Eren to enact revenge instead of doing it himself maybe could be something that Zeke relates to. Maybe before Grisha lost his memories, maybe he was pushing Zeke into enacting revenge, and maybe that's why he can find some sense of sympathy with Eren, because Eren, due to the death of his mother, has been set on a course for vengeance and hatred towards those outside of the walls because Grisha has forced that upon him. Grisha has manipulated and used his son as a weapon. And maybe Zeke relates to that. Maybe Zeke also felt like he was used and manipulated to become a weapon, but on the other side. So it's going to be really interesting because I think this is going to be what forces Eren to pursue life beyond the walls, that he wants to know more, he wants to see more. What's this letter? That's what I'm curious about. This letter that Ymir has given to Historia, and whether Ymir is alive. I think Ymir is alive because I feel like that would be important for Reiner to mention that she was dead. He hasn't said that, so I don't think she's dead. I think she is alive, but just where is she and what is she up to and what is she doing? This was such an emotional watch. I don't think I really spoke much because I think I was too busy crying most of this episode, so it was a rough one for me, but I was right that that scene was due to Erwin's death, the post episode 12 credit scene. I was right that Armin would be the one to consume Bertold and gain the Colossal's abilities, and that it wasn't Reiner, though this episode kind of threw me a little bit. I was like, could it be Reiner? But it wasn't. And that Erwin and his character arc has come to an end, and he gets to rest in peace, finally. He gets to live on in the memories of others. They will give meaning to his life and his sacrifice, and he is content with that. He had come to terms with never knowing the truth the moment he got on his horse and led that suicide charge. I think it was the right decision to continue allowing him that peace, because in life he would never have peace. He would never have a moment of rest or relaxation, and if anything, you'd only be forcing him to suffer more for knowing the truth, because once he's reached that goal and he's obtained it, what then? What else does he have to live for? He has allowed that truth to consume him for so many years that I think bringing him back would almost be cruel, because he's at peace. He deserves to rest. He deserves to die knowing that he did what he could for humanity, that he gave humanity and the Survey Corps a chance, especially through Armin being saved, because Armin is the new hope for the Survey Corps and for humanity as a whole. I think Levi made the right choice for sure. Our boy can rest in peace knowing that he has fought valiantly and he has done everything that he could do to find out the truth, but also to protect humanity. And that's all we can ever ask of him. And bringing him back at this point, only for him to have to suffer the pain of an upcoming war, but also the end of his dream. He would have nothing to motivate and propel him forwards. And I think Levi also recognized that. And again, Erwin was at peace with his decision. He had come to terms with his own death, and Armin gets to live another day and fight for humanity. It's going to be interesting to see now how that plays out with him as the Colossal. Again, I think they see it as a win because they now have two Titans fighting for the people within the walls, but I do think that Eren and Armin are going to come to blows at some point, because they're going to fundamentally disagree about the direction that the war is going in. Armin is going to be very open to conversation. Still, even though Bertolt didn't want to hear it, I still think Armin's going to be a lot more rational and a lot more diplomatic, and I don't think Eren is. I think Eren's just going to be driven by his need for revenge and driven by not so much bloodlust, but that he sees them all as guilty for the pain and suffering that they have caused for him and others within the walls. So yeah, if you enjoyed this episode, please consider liking, subscribing, and leaving a comment below to help boost this video into the algorithm. And until next episode, bye!